Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
Raw began with a recap of King and Queen of the Ring. We then see the night's main event, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan in a steel cage for the Women's World Championship. And what a match that sounds like.
We then cut to the ring with the awaiting Ludwig Kaiser. He's there to introduce the new King of the Ring, Gunther. As Gunther makes his way to the ring, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole both comment that both of Orton's shoulders weren't down when he was pinned by Gunther at King of the Ring. They also said that Triple H was aware of that and he said the referee's decision is final, so the result stands.
And I think they've addressed that. I think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think that. And they've
It
addressed it and they've said the ref's fine, decision's final, so that's it, which I
that's
like.
the end.
Gunther addressed the crowd, saying that the IC belt lacked prestige, so he had to step up and make it something. He also needed to elevate the King of the Ring, as again it lacked prestige, and that's what's gone wrong with the World Heavyweight Championship, he exclaimed. It's lacking prestige. So out comes Damian Priest and his lackeys, Finn Balor and JD McDonagh. You didn't earn that belt, Gunther told Priest, and we all saw you not beat Orton, retorted Priest. Priest then said he earned his shot at the title by winning Money in the Bank. When we go to war at SummerSlam, Priest started, but then he got interrupted by Drew McIntyre.
After getting in the ring, Drew had a pop at CM Punk. Must be in his contract. Anytime you're on air, Drew, have a moan about Punk. After his rant, Drew introduced himself to Gunther and Priest, and Gunther left the ring.
Drew then explained to Priest where Scotland was, because they don't teach geography in America. The crowd roundly booing the Scottish Warrior. I'd just like to add that it was Drew that said those words, not us. The crowd will break you mentally and I'll break you physically, McIntyre told Priest. That all you got to see if you can get under my skin, Priest said. Priest then mentioned Drew's wife, which seemed to irk the Scottish psychopath, clearly getting under his skin. Before Drew had chance to do anything though, Braun Strowman's music played and he came out for his match with JD McDonagh.
Of course, McDonagh got battered. He got in a kick and a chop and did a little damage to Strowman's knee, but a tilt-a-whirl power slam got the win for Strowman. After the bell rang, Balor, McDonagh and Carlito, who had come down to help JD during the match, attacked Braun. JD even hitting him with a chair. The chair had no effect. Strowman turned towards JD, who then ran for his life.
Backstage we see Liv Morgan saying she didn't know what Dom was going to do, and if she's going to hold the title properly, then she does need to beat Becky Lynch straight up.
Back from the break, we see Judgment Day looking for JD McDonagh, who's still on the run from Strowman.
We then cut to Ricochet asking Adam Pearce for a match against Bron Breakker because of last week's attack. Pearce tells him he's not here and that he's suspended. Ilja Dragunov enters the frame. Ricochet offers to fight Dragunov instead. Dragunov says you're injured. Pearce says he's medically cleared, so the match is made. Ricochet versus Dragunov is next.
During Dragunov's entrance, the dreaded QR code makes an appearance. The QR code shows two videos you can play. The first video is an exclusive clip of the therapist saying she's okay, she was never in danger. She then tilts her head slightly and just smiles at the camera eerily for a long time. Not weird at all.
The second video is someone watching the clip of the therapist on a laptop. After the clip, the therapist's room flashes up with the bride we keep seeing sitting in the therapist's chair. And then there's one more video called Ring Ring. Clicking on this brings up what looks like a ring doorbell or something, but it's not connecting. Then there's more evidence pointing to June 17th. So surely something is going to happen around about then. And then on the Heaven's Gate looking website that the WWE mocked up, there's more evidence suggesting June 17th is coming up. But if you haven't already, go and check it out.
Back to the match. Dragunov works Ricochet's injured ribs to fine effect, but two suicide dives and a moonsault to the outside only results in a 2 count for Ricochet. A Constantine special results in a 2 count for Dragunov before Ilja goes upstairs for a top rope H-bomb. As Dragunov comes down, Ricochet gets his feet up, hitting Dragunov squarely in the face. With Dragunov down, Ricochet goes up and performs a shooting star press, which connects. As he goes for the pin, Bron Breakker spears him from nowhere. The refs and Adam Pearce break it up, with Pearce escorting Braun back up the rampway. Back from the break, we see Pearce and Breakker still arguing, before we see Karrion Kross trying to recruit Xavier Woods for the final testament. Kofi is having none of it. Kross offers him an early retirement so Woods can shine.
Next out is AOP against the Creed brothers. There's nothing much to see here. AOP finish the brothers off with their newly named finisher, What a Rush, and pick up the win. We hear then from Rey Mysterio saying that when he takes on Carlito later, he won't be seeing a friend across from the ring. We then see Sheamus walking through backstage, but in the background you can just make out JD McDonagh talking with Liv Morgan. Strowman then comes charging / limping through, still after JD, who again scarpers.
After the break, we see Sheamus coming down to the ring looking for a fight with Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser appears on the Titantron, calling Sheamus a keyboard warrior yet again. Sheamus decides he's had enough of this and goes hunting for Ludwig backstage. While Sheamus is looking for him, Ludwig attacks him. The resulting brawl spills out next to the rampway, where the refs and Adam Pearce manage to break it up.
Next up is Kairi Sane against Lyra Valkyria. Sane accompanied by Dakota Kai. Valkyria is carrying an injury, so she's taped up around the ribs after being squashed by Nia Jax at Queen of the Ring. Sane therefore targets Lyra's ribs at every opportunity, and a stomp by Sane from the top rope gets her a 2 count. Then an insane elbow gets countered by Lyra, who rolls up Kairi for the win. Valkyria wins, which I like, but it kind of surprised me because I thought Sane would have won that one.
We then head back to the Judgment Day clubhouse.
Is that like the Mickey Mouse clubhouse?
And we see Priest asking JD what he was talking to Liv Morgan about. JD says he was telling her that she won't be champ for long. We then see Priest telling dirty little Dom off for messing up. "Have you told Mommy?" questioned Priest. "Yeah, I told her and I'm going to fix it," replied Dom. "Yeah, you better fix it, and tonight," Priest told Dom.
Interference incoming. Rey Mysterio versus Carlito is up next. Rey accompanied by Dragon Lee and Selena Vega. Baszler comes down to help Carlito, but Rey still manages to win with a 619 and then a leap over the top rope into a pin. As Dragon Lee sets up to splash Baszler from the ring post through the announcer's table, Priest intervenes. He destroys the LWO and then fixes a death stare at Baszler. Baszler smiles back, but soon realises Priest is not a happy bunny. And he didn't, he looked well annoyed.
Next we have Bronson Reed against Otis, who was accompanied by Maxime Dupree and Chad Gable. This was a big meaty match. And as Otis was warming up his worm, Gable once again interjected. Otis got distracted and turned into a kick by Reed. Reed went upstairs, tsunami'd Otis and picked up the win. As Otis was leaving the ring, Gable called him back in. They had also been joined by Tozawa and Dupree. "You could have redeemed yourself," Gable told Otis, "but you blew it. You lack discipline." Gable then removed his belt and told Otis to grab hold of the top rope. As Gable drew his arm back to lash Otis, Dupree grabbed Gable's arm and stopped him. Gable dismissed her to the back. With Dupree gone, Gable drew his arm back again to lash Otis. He was stopped again, this time by Sami Zayn coming down.
Sami got in the ring and told Gable it was him who couldn't get the job done. It's no one else's fault. Zayn then told Otis to listen to the crowd, but Gable then blindsided Zayn and put a beat down on him. Otis wanted to drag Gable off Sami, but can't, clearly bound by his loyalty to him, or he's just plain scared.
After the break, we see Sonya Deville trying to offer Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler her help. They brushed her off, saying they've beat everyone and they don't need her help. As they walk away, they bump into Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. "You haven't beaten us," Via and Dawn tell Baszler and Stark. Deville then catches up with Stark and Baszler and says, "See, no respect."
Last match of the night, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan in a steel cage for the Women's World Championship on Raw. It was a back and forth match. A superplex gets Becky a 2 count and an Oblivion gets Liv a 2 count. Both women find themselves sitting on top of the cage before they both come back down to the ring, with Liv managing to perform a powerbomb pin on Lynch, which only gets a 2. We then see Dominic come down to ringside and open the door for Becky, Liv, to get out. Baszler and McDonagh come down asking Dom, what's he doing? Well, helping Becky, isn't he? Well, supposedly. Dom replies he's got to fix this. We then hear Strowman's music and he comes limping down the ramp, still hell-bent on getting his hands on JD. As Strowman charges round the ring after JD, Braun runs into Dom, who's holding the cage door open. This inadvertently causes Dom to fall into the cage door, slamming it into Becky as she's just about to exit the cage. With Lynch down and out, Liv exits the cage and retains her newly acquired title. After the match is done and Dom finds himself on the rampway, Liv collects her belt, goes up to Dom, and to everyone's surprise, plants a big kiss on him. Out of nowhere. Mummy is not going to be a happy mummy.
No, she's not.
Now, personally, I think JD, Balor and Dom are all in on this.
Okay.
I mean, why would they question Dom on opening the door to the cage to allow Becky to escape and win when that was the play, wasn't it? So who knows. Anyway, thanks again for watching.
And we hope to see you again next time.